I think it's clear that the Russians want us out of a lot of places, out of Afghanistan, out of Iraq, out of Syria, out of the Middle East generally, out of Eastern and Central Europe. And so their efforts to help push us out, I think, have been increasing in a number of ways. To the extent that they're now actually involved in uh, trying to find surrogates to attack Americans or coalition forces, that is tantamount to an attack on Americans directly. And I think that that requires a very serious response. It's not simply protesting about what they're doing, is not necessarily kinetic force against Russians. It could well be asymmetric economic sanctions. It's been suggested in Congress that Russia be declared a state sponsor of terrorism if we decide these reports are true. I think it's got to be a very strong response to reestablish deterrence that has broken down. It was once very clear this is not something that then Soviet and American forces engaged in, and it shouldn't be something they engage in now. And I think what we need is a more comprehensive strategy to deal with Russia. I think in Vladimir Putin and his government, you've got somebody playing a very weak hand very well. And I don't really think we're playing much of a hand at all. It's part of the problem the president has in distinguishing between his personal relationship with a foreign leader, especially an adversary on the one hand, and the actual substance of the bilateral relationship between the US and another country on the other. It's not the case that if there are good personal relations, there are good bilateral relations. And I think that's something Americans need to keep in mind.